Welcome to the case scenario activity on ethical predictive modeling at Borough Housing LLC. In this exercise, you will analyze a real-world scenario involving a team tasked with predicting house prices for a new neighborhood. As you listen, pay close attention to the ethical considerations discussed, the technical approach proposed, and the communication strategy developed. Let's meet the team. The team is gathered in the bright open office space of Borough Housing LLC for a casual brainstorming session to kick off a new project. Carlos, the project manager, begins the discussion.
All right, team, let's kick off this new project. Ryan, can you give us a quick overview of what our client is looking for?
Ryan, the business analyst, responds with the client's needs.
Absolutely, Carlos. Our real estate client wants us to predict house prices for a new neighborhood to inform their investment decisions.
Carlos acknowledges the need for predictive modeling and turns to Lina for a technical perspective.
Sounds like a perfect use case for predictive modeling. Lina, I know you're our Python whiz. How do you see us approaching this from a technical perspective?
We'll need to start by collecting historical housing data, then perform some exploratory analysis to understand trends. After that, we can build models to predict future prices using techniques like regression.
Next, Carlos asks Jasmine, the data ethics expert, to weigh in on the ethical considerations.
Excellent. And Jasmine, as our data ethics expert, what are some of the ethical considerations we need to consider for this project?
We need to be transparent with our data sources and avoid bias. For instance, we should ensure that the model doesn't disproportionately favor certain neighborhoods, as that could deepen social or economic disparities.
That's a good point. If we're not careful, our model could unintentionally affect communities by influencing property values.
Exactly. We also have to ensure that our predictive model doesn't perpetuate any existing biases in housing markets or make harmful predictions that could disproportionately impact underrepresented groups.
In this scenario, the team discussed the basics of predictive modeling and the ethical responsibilities involved. Predictive modeling is a powerful tool, but it's important to ensure that models are used responsibly. Now consider the following questions to reflect on these concepts. 1. Ryan discussed the client's goal of predicting house prices. How would you define predictive modeling, and what are some common methods used for making predictions in data science? 2. Jasmine mentioned the importance of avoiding bias in predictive models. What are some ways that bias can manifest in data models, and how can data scientists mitigate these risks? 3. Why is transparency in data sourcing and modeling important, and how can failing to disclose certain aspects of a predictive model negatively impact stakeholders? 4. Ryan raised concerns about the impact of predictive models on communities. How can predictive models influence property values and housing markets, and what ethical considerations should be taken to avoid causing harm?